Greetings folks, the Daedric Artifacts are some of the most powerful items in Oblivion, so buckle up because we have 16 items to go through, how to get them and their effects, and which one looks better in comparison. If you are interested in more Oblivion guides, check the description below. The first one is gonna be Azura's Star, which is one of the most universally useful items in Oblivion. To get Azura Stars, you need to offer a glow dust. It's an alchemical ingredient dropped from Will-O-Wisp. However, you can buy it from Imperial City Market main ingredient store. Keep this place in mind because most of the alchemical ingredient needed for the Daedric artifacts are sold here. The sanctuary is north of Sedinhal. The quest will have you to kill some vampires in a lair. However, on Master this can be quite challenging as the vampires themselves eat quite hard, yes, even the monk. It's one of the most important items in the game in my opinion, because it's a reusable, infinite grand soul gem, so the highest tier of gem. This in turn makes recharging weapons and even enchanting quite easy. If you don't know how to get grand souls to fill them up, to get the best enchanting outcome, there are several ways to do it before level 20. A max conjuration. Specialist can summon high level Daedras, cast a soul trap on them, and when they die it will fill the gem. Alternative, before level 20 you can use the Staff of Sanguine Rose or even black gems, but we will talk about those later. So the Azura Star is an item that you should get in every playthrough. Then we have the Wabbajack. The Wabbajack is our first meme item. The offering required to get these are quite cheap because the stuff doesn't do much. You need a lesser soul gem, then a lettuce and a yarn. If you have no idea where to find lettuce, you can check my gold guide below. The alchemy section will go through the best places to get vegetables. Then you can find yarn in many containers, just look around the village that the quest will send you. And then if you need a petty soul gem, they are pretty common, just check a mage guild or when you explore a ruin, open containers. So the main use of the Wabbajack is turning creatures in other type of creatures. This doesn't work on an NPC. This can be used in several ways. If you're facing a mob you cannot kill, depending on your build, like for example Will-O-Wisp are extremely annoying if you're a warrior. You can gamble to see if you can get something easier for you to kill. But you will have to do it before the effect expires, and that's not a lot of time. You can also target your own summons in a bid to kill NPC. It will not count as an assault if you cast it on a creature. If you ever try to cast it on an NPC, well, it will do nothing and it's gonna be assault. Plus, your summons, if they are transformed by the Wabbajack, they can be hostile to you, so be careful. To rate the next three items, I need to explain how magical mitigation works in Oblivion. First of all, we have the Namira's ring, which is super easy to get. You need a low personality. Go in front of the sanctuary, which you can find close to Bruma. And then you want to drink a few bottles of cheap wine, depending on your personality. You need at least 20. Just drink them straight before talking to the statue, because you don't have a lot of time. Then you do the quest, which will require you just to cast a spell on some NPC, which will not turn hostile. And then you get the ring. Now, first we have reflect damage. What exactly is reflect damage? Reflect damage is one of the main mitigation stats. It will work on melee attacks, everything except enhanced weapons. These will reflect damage back on them. The second stat that is just as important, it's gonna be reflect spell. In Oblivion, you have three forms of magical mitigation. You have, in this order, reflect spell, which causes hostile spell to not affect the caster and sent back to the opponent. Then you have absorption, which nullify the effect of those spells and turn them in magic for the caster. And then you have resist magic. So this means that if you do not reflect a spell, if you do not absorb a spell, then that's where magic resist comes into play. Sources of the stats is fairly limited and you will not be able to hit 100% on all of them. Naturally, if you're playing a race like Breton or Orc, or you take the Atronach bird sign, then this will change how you approach things. Regardless, Namira's ring is super easy to get, level 5, and then we have Spellbreaker. You can find the sanctuary for Spellbreaker east of Bravil. Spellbreaker is a heavy shield, and it will provide you a 30% reflect spell. It's one of the best shields in the game, just for this reason. 30% is a lot, plus regardless of your build, unless you're using a two-handed weapon and you cannot equip a shield, The Spellbreaker is crazy. To get this item, you don't need any specific requirement except a level 10. You cannot take this quest before then. Next one, we have our Skeleton Key. The Skeleton Key is another item that you should get in every playthrough. It's an unbreakable infinite lockpick. Plus, just for having this in your inventory, you get 30 security. Not that you need it, because you can just spam auto-resolve, and no matter how hard a lock is, eventually it will fall before you. So this is a mandatory item in my opinion. If you get arrested, they will take away this from you, so just in case, maybe keep some lockpick. They don't have any weight, so there is no problem over there. The Hide of the Savior. You need level 17. It's gonna be the Sanctuary of Irsin, south of Imperial City, and you will need to offer a bear pelt or a wolf. In Master, this quest is annoying because you have several Minotaurs to deal with, depending on your level. And the Unicorn is incredibly tanky to kill, so it is what it is. Savior's Hide is a light armor that provides magical mitigation, so if you're into heavy, this item is probably not that useful to you. However, it provides 25% resist magic, and that is quite a lot. This is why this item is incredibly useful. Now let's go with the only Daedric artifact that I consider to be garbage, and it's gonna be the Masque of Claudius Vile. Unless you are aiming for a full personality build, like stacking 180 personality, you can find the shrine southwest of Imperial City, and the offering is gonna be just 500 gold. Now, to get the Masque of Clavicus Vile, you need to give up Umbra, the item you're sent to recover. Umbra is one of the best weapons in the game, in my opinion, for a simple reason. High flat damage, 28, but that's not just because of that. If you do not use Blade, or you're a mage, you can still use Umbra. Once you hit a target, it will proc a 120 seconds soul trap effect. So you bonk them with Umbra, then you switch to whatever you want. Even if you're a warrior, you can carry Umbra around. That's what I do in every playthrough. So Umbra is a must to get item just because of the quality of life. Now I know what you're going to say. You can make custom soul trap weapons with enchanting, or you can just cast soul trap yourself. However, I feel that this is just a waste, unless you are going full ranged, okay? And you have no way to get closer to the mobs or hit them once, which is like, I don't think this happens very often. The only mob that is very scary melee, in my opinion, is gonna be the Storm Atronach, because if you are fully melee with in Master against Storm Atronach, they will just reflect you back all your damage and shred you, so it is what it is. So for me, Umbra is a must to get item, plus that you can get this at level 1. What you want to do is, you go in the ruin, you aggro Umbra, and then you drag her far away for guards to kill her, or you use traps. It depends on your difficulty. If you are, however, interested in her armor, get that one at level 15, not before, because it's gonna have lower stats. Now, next item for me is gonna be the Ring of the Khajiit. So the Ring of Khajiit will require you to make a undead offering to Meridia. The shrine is close to Skingrad. It can be a bone meal, an ectoplasm, or a mort flesh if you still have the mort flesh from that zombie that you killed in the tutorial. However, you can go in the cave, kill the necromancer and stuff, and then contact Meridia after. You will get an ectoplasm there for sure, because there are ghosts there. But that is up to you. The Ring of Khajiit is a universal item. It's a ring that will give you 35% Chameleon. If you don't know how powerful Chameleon is, on the lower spectrum, it's a super useful stealth item. Even if you're not stealth, when you are 100%, the game breaks, mobs cannot find you anymore. You become virtually invisible and you can attack them. It's game breaking, and so people do not abuse Chameleon because it makes the game boring. Regardless of this, the item is top tier. However, be advised, the quest to get this item in Master is incredibly painful. You have to kill a bunch of Necromancer that summon in a super small area, and it's annoying. Plus, the Necromancer at high level will also cast Disintegrate, so weapon and armor. The next item is gonna be the Skull of Corruption, another meme stuff. However, it's much stronger than the Wabbajack. You can get the Skull Corruption at level 5, however, the offering is quite steep. They want a Black Soul Gem. Now, Black Soul Gem are especially precious, because to make one, you need a Grand Soul Gem. No, you cannot use the Star of Azura for this. Black Soul Gems works like this. You find one of the Necromancer altars, you go there on the right day. If you do not know where the right day is, you just wait in front of a necromancer altar for 8 days until you see a pillar glowing out the sky. If you do the Mage's Guild, you will be introduced to the method to do this. If you're a new player, my advice is just follow the Mage's Guild quest. You need to do it anyway. And then you can make the gem casting soul trap on the altar. Why black soul gems are amazing? If you're low level, you can make soul gems, kill named NPC, fill the soul gem with the NPC. Normally you cannot do this with normal gems. And then you have magically a grand soul gem in your hands. The reason why the School of Corruption is powerful, if you cast it on an NPC, not a creature, it will create a clone that will be hostile to you and the NPC. The stats are gonna be based around the NPC that you're doing this. I personally do not waste a black soul gem on this, especially early on. You want to save those. So this is my reasoning. Other one, we have another meme item. It's gonna be the Sanguine Rose. To get this quest is close to Skingrad. You will need a Cyrodiilic brandy. You can find one at the Gilded Carafe in Imperial City. Has the same problem as the Wabbajack, the School of Corruption. If you use it on an NPC, it will count as assault. However, this particular item can be used to fill soul gems. If you are lucky and you can pull off a Xivili, you can cast a soul trap, and this happens in a group of other NPC, they will kill the Xivili for you. However, this is very, very, very specific. It's not that useful, I'll be honest. It's a meme stuff, like... next one is gonna be Volendrung. This item you need to go a little above Anvil, to the Shrine of Malakat, and offer Trollfet. Trollfet will appear at Alchemical Vendor after level 9, since this is a level 10 quest. Just go to the main ingredient and buy one. Now, Volendrung is quite interesting as an hammer, especially for the level. The base damage is amazing, 20 flat. It has 2 enchants that are very interesting. One is Paralyze and the other is Drain Health. If you are a blunt-based build, this item is amazing. You carry this for a long time. The problem, however, is that two-handed weapons in Oblivion, especially in higher difficulty, are penalized, as does melee. Even with a shield, sometimes it's a struggle, like stuff takes too long to die and you are tied with fatigue as well. However, Volendrung is still an amazing hammer. It's in risotto tier because it's not a universal item. Then we have the Molag Bal mace. The Shrine of Molag Bal is close to Imperial City. You will need to offer a lion pelt. If you want to find a lion pelt and you didn't start the Infighters Guild Anvil quest to save the rats yet, you will have to kill a lot of lions. Otherwise, just roam around in that area and you will find a lion pelt. The Mace of Molag Bal is an interesting item. It has a higher base damage than Volendrung. However, I don't think the enchants are better. You have Absorb Strength and Absorb Magicka. It's not a useless item, however. If you're blunt, you can easily get this one. The quest is also very easy to do. Just find the guy, drop the mace in front of the grave, the one that Molag Bal gives you, and then you just attack him, and hopefully he will take the mace off the ground and kill you with it. So you can do the quest. Ebony Blade. To get Ebony Blade, you need a Nightshade. If you want to find Nightshade in the Choros Dining Hall, Mage's Guild, you will find some on the table. You can get the Ebony Blade at level 15, and it will send you through an assassination quest. Wait at night, go in both houses, kill the dude, find the dagger and the ring in both houses. Go in the other one, kill the other dude, take the ring, then place the ring and the dagger on the body. Not the same one that you find in the house. Of course, you're trying to convince the people there that they killed each other, not that it was suicide. The Ebony Blade is an interesting weapon, even if you do not go Blade, because it provides with a silence effect on it. Silence is the mage killer. If you're right with silence, mages don't cast spell. So if you're facing a spellcaster, just go there, bonk them with the Ebony Blade, switch out to your normal weapon, and then when they start to cast spells again, reapply. It's a bit annoying, and if you're playing on lower difficulty, you don't need to do this. Also, there are other sources of silence, I'm aware. You have poisons, you have spells. Then we have Goldbrand. If you think the position is a bit low, you're probably a Blade main. 25 base damage and a very powerful fire enchant of 22. The only problem is Blade charges go down very fast due to the potency. To get this item, you want to go to south of Shading Hall. This is a level 20 quest. This weapon actually hit harder than Umbra. Umbra has higher base damage, but Goldbrand, when charged, wins out because of the enchant. Ideally, if you are using swords, you will use Goldbrand in combination with Umbra to recharge gold, so you can keep the Goldbrand build without having to waste gold or soul gems. Of course, this assumes that you have the Azura star, because the quest is a bit hard in Master. If you can push the enemies in the lava and kill them. Be careful for the Argonian. My god, that arrows were so powerful in Master, like it shredded through my health so fast. But if you're quick to engage the archers in melee, they will stop shooting arrows at you anyway. So you should do that, especially with Argonian. Alright, last item, of course talking about the Oghma Infinium. It's the reward from completing every other Daedric quest. Okay, you need to do everything to get this one. Then the sanctuary is gonna be above Cloud Ruler Temple. However, to do this quest, you also need to advance in the main quest at least to the point of Blood of the Daedra. I will not deliver any spoiler about this. What you need to know about the Oghma Infinitum, however, is that it's the only way without exploits, okay, that you can get certain stats and attribute above 100. So this is an item that you get when all the stats that you want to raise with the Oghma Infinitum above 100. You have three choices: the path of steel, speed, strength, blade, blunt and heavy; the path of shadow, agility, speed, light armor, security and sneak; the path of spirit, intelligence, willpower, conjuration, destruction, restoration. You cannot choose and mix and match. These are the options. Is this item worth to get? It's really up to you. If you want to min max, just keep in mind that certain stats above 100, like strength, will not increase your melee damage. So it's worth to you depending on your build. However, the item, as I said, is still indeed powerful regardless. You can even use these. Say that you applied your stats in a weird way and you have low intelligence. Well, you can get the 10 point. You can use this one to boost those stats that you don't have super high. Well, this was my take. To conclude, in case that you use the timestamp and got this part, in the highest tier we have universal items that have a use that anybody can use. Infinite soul gems, infinite lockpick, best source of soul trap in the game for free, and amazing damage if you're blade. Cheap and super powerful source of Chameleon for free. Chameleon breaks the game. It's at 100 you're invisible, but mobs cannot fight back. Up to you if you want to go that far though. Oghma Infinitum, only way legit to get your stats above 100 when they're capped. Spell reflection, magical resistance, free source of silence, amazing to deal with mages. All great weapons depending on your level. Easiest source of spell reflect and damage reflect in the game. Meme stuff, each one has uses, however they're not universal, and yeah. You have to give up Umbra for this item. Just for personality, unless you're stacking personality super high and I'm like, okay, I understand that you want to become Mr. Walkie-Talkie, and that's it. If you have a different take or opinion, let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and maybe subscribe for more Oblivion and other gaming content in the future. Have fun playing Oblivion Remastered and have a good day. See you.